Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for your time. This is my third live, excuse me. So please go into the YouTube queue in my library to check out the last few videos done pertaining to Carlee Russell. Excuse the first live. There was a fan blowing in the background, which brought a little rattle to the live stream. I did a live earlier pertaining to who helped. That is still my question, even for the commentary that you're about to hear. Thank you for your time. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie, 129 Cash App, stickers and chats are welcome. During the live stream, I will engage in conversation via the chat to hear your commentary and answer any questions that you have pertaining to the information relayed. WVTM 13 News is the source.
Good afternoon. I'm Captain Keith Susqueweaver with the Hoover Police Department. We're here today to provide an update in the Carlee Russell investigation. Chief Nick Durzis will read a prepared statement that will provide an update in this case. After reading the statement, we will have time for a few questions related to the case. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, and there are some questions we simply cannot answer at this point. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Durzis. Thank you, Captain. Yes. Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing. We hoped to determine where Carlee was within the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today, I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read this statement, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident. This was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone from the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department, and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, asks for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions. As Officer Dale said, we call on you, please state your name and your affiliation. Yes, sir.
Keith Mims, WAGG 16-100-11, FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time with the Hoover Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49-hour period that she was supposedly missing?
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
Can you tell us where, or excuse me, what her motivation was for doing this?
I wish I could tell you. I think only Carlee knows, and maybe her attorney now. But again, the statement that we received from him does not indicate any.
For WRC, can you give us an idea of what charges may be filed against her?
That would strictly be up to the district attorney's office.
David, I'm CBS 42. Can you update us so that there is a meeting scheduled for this afternoon with the family, or when is that meeting?
Yeah, no, not a meeting with the attorney, not the family or Carlee. We have a meeting scheduled with the attorney, and that will take place some point tomorrow.
And there is no meeting with Carlee Russell or her family at this point?
Not scheduled, no, sir.
Ray Jack, Fox 6, what's next to close this investigation?
again, we want to talk to Mr. Anthony tomorrow and see if he has any more to discuss about the case. We'll certainly be asking if we'll get an opportunity to again interview Carlee like we've wanted to since she returned.
Chief Stephen Quinn, NBC 3340.
Yes.
Your reaction now, knowing that Carlee has admitted this was made.
Well, I'm glad that we got this. We certainly laid the facts out to you guys and to the national media that had a lot of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that again, there were so many people that were involved, took this thing very, very seriously, and again, we wanted the focus to be bringing her home. She got home. We're very excited about that. It is what it is. The facts, I think, last Wednesday pretty much showed that we knew that it was a hoax.
Lisa Kramer, WBTM 13, do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar figure for us, just how big it was?
Well, it was all hands on deck, and we don't have a dollar figure yet, but we're certainly working towards getting one. And not only ours, but there'll be other agencies that had a lot of support that they gave us and had monetary expenses themselves.
Jonathan, with JLR investigates, are the parents under any investigation?
As I said the other day, we were going to try to determine exactly those 49 hours. So right now, anything's on the table. We still don't know what happened to those 49 hours. Where she was, did she have any help? We have no idea. I read the statement from Mr. Anthony. That's all we know.
Right. Chief, man, WAGG's seen some of the media. Chief, let me ask you this. What do you think prompted or provoked Carlee to do this kind of thing? And are there any kind of mental issues that the police department or the public should be concerned about, or just what?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's this is this was an elaborate deal. I mean, when you talk about calling a 911 and being up on the interstate, again, it would all be conjecture. So really, I don't know. I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity to interview and we'd be able to ask her those questions.
Were any others involved in putting this story together for her?
Mr. Anthony, in his statement, says there was not.
Liliana Kelby, WBRC Fox 6 News. You said that you had a meeting scheduled and it kind of switched into a statement. Did they give the technical reason that switched?
No, they did not.
Right here.
Aaron would love to know NBC 13. Was not in custody right now.
That is correct. That is correct.
Next question for Dave.
David, man, once again, so first of all, when did you actually see this letter? And second of all, do these admissions and the content of the letter alter the investigation at all?
No, not at all. We'll continue to investigate. We're still trying to determine where she was during those 49 hours. But I am glad that we received this. It at least puts some of the social media super sleuths hopefully at rest for a little bit as far as the conjecture of what everybody thinks took place. We know that by her own admission, it didn't happen, and we're thankful for that.
All right, thank you guys very much.
All right, everybody. That's the said information. That's the same. Yes, we'll see about that. Sorry about that. Oh, Lord.
I feel like a billionaire.
Oh, sorry about that. They kept the state off for some reason. Lord have mercy. Woo! Okay. Let's go over the information. Thank you for joining me. WVTM 13 News is the source if you are curious. I can't get it together this evening. Oh, mercy. All righty. Miss Carlee Russell has admitted that the information she gave to the police via a 911 dispatch call was a hoax. She lied. There was no toddler. She was not kidnapped. Her attorney is the one giving this information. Obviously, the police thought they would be talking to Miss Carlee, but instead, an attorney has decided to speak on her behalf. This was a single act. There was no help, allegedly, by any other parties. She apologizes for her acts. She's hoping to work on her issues and asks the public to forgive her. Ask for forgiveness and prayers. There may be possible charges. That is up to the district attorney to decide if and when. This gentleman says he does not know where she was. And I find it interesting that she didn't tell where she was and didn't tell the lawyer to say where she was. Why not? They will have a meeting tomorrow, the police department, with the attorney. I do not know if she will show up or not. I do find it interesting that they hired an attorney. Why is that? Does she feel that there will be charges? And that's why she hired an attorney, her family, because somebody has to pay the attorney bill. The police says they wanted to interview her again, but an attorney has spoken on her behalf. So I guess they will ask any other questions they have pertaining to her whereabouts, so on and so forth tomorrow with her attorney, Mr. Anthony. He tells us that he's glad they got this from her, this confession. Once again, did Carlee Russell confess out of fear of said charges? And will the DA not bring forward charges since she's admitted to her wrongdoing and has apologized? It was asked, will the apology, they asked about hindrance pertaining to, I lost my place. I guess I asked that. Will this apology affect the DA's decision to bring forward charges? As you know, other agencies were involved in looking for Carlee because a reporter asked about a dollar amount. And naturally, that will be up to the other agencies to bring forward amount that they feel is owed to them, such as Hoover, U.S. Marshals, FBI, Secret Service, so on and so forth. A question was also asked about the parents' involvement. And once again, he states they're still investigating this crime, trying to account for the 49 hours that she was allegedly missing, but they have no idea who aided in this crime. It was also asked by a reporter what prompted her. And he goes on to say it was an elaborate deal. And at this moment, it's conjecture, which means you're just guessing at why she did it. But he hopes to ask her that if she will speak with him and other detectives. Once again, no help. She is currently not in custody. It was also asked about when did he see the letter. And naturally, was assuming he'd be talking to Miss Carlee, but an attorney stepped up in her place. And he hopes that with this confession by Miss Russell, that this will put the super sleuths to rest. But this is still an ongoing investigation. He doesn't know the reason why she committed this crime. And as far as the reward money, donations, as I said in my earlier live, I feel like they need to go back to each person that donated because that is only right. I don't think it needs to go to anything new or a new case because it defeats the purpose of somebody donated at that time for her, thinking she was gone. And naturally, there's nothing wrong with donating money for a worthy cause to an organization in general. It depends on your interpretation of the donation. But it is somebody's money, and they assume she was missing. So I think it's only right that the money goes back. Now, last Monday, they said they would give it back. Then they changed their mind that afternoon because the investigation was ongoing, which you already knew that anyway. So I don't understand this Crime Stoppers business, but I think the money should go back to the people. And if they decide that they want to let the money stay there for the Crime Stoppers organization, then so be it. But if they want it back, it should be given back. Forgiveness. Why should we forgive you? Well, if we believe in the scripture and God, he tells us to forgive man because he has forgiven us for our trespasses. But as I have said before, there are certain things that people can do that most people just don't think is forgivable, because that's the point. We're human. We're not God. We're not God. We are of the flesh, and all of us have done wrong. None of us are exempt. But there comes a point when you have to draw the line somewhere. This, to me, is drawing the line, because it is elaborate. As he said, thought went into this, obviously. You've described people that never existed. You drove down a highway and planning to park your car and disappear into the night. You left the whole car running, luxury car at that. That's baffling to me. The extreme behavior. And in the end, it doesn't even matter what the damn reason is. It's ridiculous. And as I said before, if you will do this, what else are you capable of? And that's what people need to understand about the crime itself. It was elaborate. He was spot on when he said that. And you have to ask yourself that. What else would you do when you get frustrated, mad, bitter, upset, not having your way? Somebody says something out of the way to you. Somebody does something to you. How do we know that next time you get a job or somebody has a disagreement with you in the cafeteria or something, you fucking put something in their Coke, in their cookies? Bring a batch of cookies or baked goods and put cyanide in it. I don't know. Because this right here is outrageous. It's outrageous. And you're obviously frustrated, mad about something in the world. But see, this little girl don't know what a problem is. She ain't really seen how bad life can get. This stuff that we're saying on social media about her behavior, that's nothing. That is nothing compared to how bad it really can get. Really bad is going to be not being able to get a job, not being able to take care of yourself, not having support from friends and family, people shunning you everywhere you go, people doing things to you when they see you out in public, somebody laying their hands on you when they see you. She has no idea how bad it can get. Because at some point, this story will die down and we'll be talking about some other foolishness, because that's the way of the world. She will be the one stuck in a cocoon with no friends, no family, nobody trusting her, always got to lean on her parents. They're not going to always be around. One of them could die tomorrow. Both could die in a car crash. She is going to be fucked. She is going to be fucked. But that's life. There are no guarantees in life. She could walk out here tomorrow, go into a Target if she's allowed. Piano fall on her head. You see what I'm saying? Life, there's no guide. There are no rules. People do what they want. And that's what she did. I'm glad she apologized. I'm glad she owned it. But does she mean it? Because you got to remember you're dealing with a liar. Stay woke now. Because we can preach all day. She should apologize. She should apologize. Because I said it. She should apologize. She should own it. Be done with it. Because that's the only way you're going to dive the story down, is to go on and just say, yeah, I did it, blah, blah, blah. Poof, be done. It's not saying there won't be ramifications, but just end it. Just end it. Because we don't know where the end's going to be. Because it's still a new story. But is she sorry? Does she feel bad for what she did? And what made her own up to it? So at what moment did she tell her parents, I've lied to you? There was no child, there was no kidnapping. And what did they say? What day did she confess? Same night? Next morning? Next day? Next day? When did she confess? And when did they decide to hire an attorney? This is a very baffling story. This is another version of the Papini Smollett. People who are very ego-driven. They have a high sense of self, but really they have a low sense of self. Because if you are secure with yourself, you have no reason to make up a story of being kidnapped. Somebody put a noose around your neck. Somebody called you a nasty name. Somebody, yelled obscenities at you or gave slurs. You have no reason to make this up. Only a very disturbed mind makes up such things. And I have said this so many times, and I speak from experience of dealing with the pathological liar from high school. This starts as children. You lie as a child and then you never stop. That is Smollett. That is Papini. And that is, I believe, also Carlee Russell. They did not wake up lying at 35, 38. They've been lying. They've been lying. It was said about Papini by one of the boyfriends. She always made up stuff. Couldn't believe a word she said never sounded right. That's usually when you know that they're lying. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right because it ain't right. She's probably lied a long time. And she's probably had a troubled youth. She possibly was picked on as a child, had problems as a child, didn't get the attention she wanted from either her mother or her father. I'm assuming that these are both her biological parents. Do not know if one is not, but there's something off in her upbringing. Because as I said, you do not wake up at 25 and go this far out. And I didn't really think she was ever going to confess, tell you the truth. I did not. I thought she was just going to ride it out or go get a lawyer, let the lawyer talk, never say anything. But I think once they showed the video, there's nobody there. She had no choice but to say, let me go ahead and end this because it's getting worse. The people are talking bad about me. I'm on every news segment. It's only going to get worse. And God forbid, the DA decides to charge me. And I really believe that's the only reason she's admitted to the wrongdoing and apologized via the attorney. But what is more baffling is she won't speak to the police. Why not? You're admitting that you did wrong. So why not go ahead and tell them where you were for the 49 hours? What's the difference? What do you have to lose at this point? You're already saying, yeah, a lot about the kid, a lot about the kidnapping. Oh, yeah, by the way, I was over here at Pookie's house, Ray Ray's house, or I slept under a bridge for 2 days. Just tell them to be done. They can close it. And then if the DA wants to bring forward charges, that's between you and the district attorney because you did do wrong. Misdemeanors or not, it's a crime to lie to the police. It's a crime to file a false report. You deserve charges. You don't need a pass because that's the problem. You've possibly been given passes all your life. That's why you made up this story. And it's not to say that she'll change, but that'll be on her. That's between her and her maker if she decides to change her ways. I don't really care what Carlee does. Because right now, I can't say verbatim that apology is genuine. Because one, I don't know her. And what I see of her is a very disturbed person. Now, could she actually be sorry? She could be. But the point is, who is going to believe it? And she's just messed up her life for nothing. But let me tell you something. When I made my last video, one of the guys working in the tire shop came out. He mentioned Casey Anthony. And he said, you think Casey Anthony did that to her baby? And I just looked at him. So he knew what my answer was. I said, of course. He says, I don't know. I think the dad did it. I said, nah, I believe that man and his wife love that little girl. I could see him calling 911. I said, only because he was a former cop. So if the child did, let's say, hurt herself, drowned, had an accident, I think he would have called the police. I said there was a sticker on the duct tape or near her mouth. That's something a female would do. That's not something a guy would do. Wrapping her in the blanket. That's all female. The fact the child was gone, last seen with the mother. Why would a grandmother call and say, I haven't seen my grandchild, and I went in the car and smelled the trunk. It smells like a dead body's back there. Come on now. Why would I even immerse myself into a murder or my husband? That would be foolish when I don't have to call at all if I have knowledge of my grandchild being dead. There are more Papinis, more Casey Anthonys, more Carlee Russells. There will be more. Hold on one second. Here's one of our famous YouTubers calling me. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Would you like to give your public opinion to the latest news?
Want to talk about Carlee Russell?
Yes, I'm live right now. Everybody, welcome Mr. Chris Thorns.
Well, you know, if you look at my community wall, I mean, do we really need to press conference to tell us that?
Now, Chris,
Anybody
behave.
who got since knew that this story was bullshit from the beginning. All right? Now, like I always say, if people believe that story, you got your right to believe what you want to believe.
Yeah.
But this is what they call common sense, which a lot of people act like they don't get. All of us got the knowledge to know BS when we hear it. All right? Because there's one main thing that I kept pointing out, and I think you may have pointed out too. Okay, everybody happy Carlee got home.
Yeah.
What about this baby? Did this baby get home? Of course the baby never got home because he never was a child. Now, I find it quite interesting how somebody can make up a story the way that she did. But then again, when you're a con artist and you're a habitual liar, it's easy for you to do it.
Right.
Now, they say now, I saw something earlier that the boyfriend talk about stop bullying her.
Yes.
Sir, nobody ain't bullying her, okay? What you need to do is open your eyes and make a coffee and see that you got a girlfriend that's going to do some deviant stuff. And if she'll go that far to say something like this, sir, what do you think she would do to you?
Amen. Yes, yes, say that. Yes.
It should be held to the captain.
Yes.
She gets to speak with you.
Yes.
So if I was you, sir, I would watch my back with that woman because that's dangerous what she did.
Yes,
even
it is. Very.
Got hurt,
Exactly.
nobody got hurt, but that's dangerous what she did.
Yes, you did.
So at this point, I don't feel anything. I don't want nothing bad to happen to her, but at this point, I say fuck her. Okay? I do.
Well, let me ask you this. Somebody in the chat saying because she sent the apology through her lawyer doesn't seem genuine. Do you believe her apology is genuine?
I feel the same way. My thing is this: don't talk to your lawyer, ma'am. Don't do that. If you're really on something like this, if you're really genuine, we need to hear you say it.
Okay.
Not necessarily say that we're gonna believe you because you said it.
Exactly.
But it makes it more potent that you come out
and say
you apologize.
Yes.
Me personally, you took a coward way and hide behind your lawyer.
Yes.
Okay? Because you didn't hide behind your lawyer, you came up with this crazy ass plan. All right?
Let me ask you this. Do you believe she had help?
Do I believe she got help?
She had help. That she had help orchestrating, being taken to the place. Because right now we do not know where she went. That has not been revealed, which I find very interesting. Why not tell it? You already apologized and admitted to the hoax, and why not tell where you were?
That's yes, I do forget whisper. Yes, I do, dear.
You think she had help? Wait, slow down. You think she had help?
No, I'm telling somebody asked did I have a channel. Somebody in your chat room asked did I have a channel.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Yes, this is Chris Thorns. Please check out his content. So I'm asking you.
Now that's $1 million question.
Brenda says she believes she had help.
That's $1 million question. One side of me want to say yeah, but another side of me want to say she didn't.
Well,
the side of me they want to say yeah because I really do believe that parents do know
more
something about.
Okay. Well, let's go there. Do you think they help?
No.
Really? Tell me why.
No, I don't think they help do it, but I think they try to help cover it up.
Oh, after the fact.
Well, because again, we don't want to make our children look bad.
Okay.
Okay? So we're going to water it down, and that's why I said on my stream, y'all talking about she fought for 48 hours. She fought what? Mental state?
Yeah, that just made it worse to me. The more you talk, the worse it is. Especially once the information got out that we don't see no child on the interstate. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now, if she did get any help, I kind of believe the boyfriend did because of the money situation. Then I saw something today where they touted it, and I gotta find it.
Wait, slow down a minute. What about the money situation?
There's an article, I can't remember where I saw it. It might have been Newsbreak, but somebody in the chat room may can tell you. That the $63,000 they're supposed to.
Yeah, they're not giving it back. Yeah, they're not giving it back. Yeah, I talked about that earlier.
Yeah, they're not giving it back, and the boyfriend told her start bullying her. So when I saw that, I said, I wanted to hear something to do with it.
Right. But see, let me say this to you. And I said this to the chat earlier. I want you to listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
One, where is her house in proximity to the woods? Number one. Okay? Because if her house is not close by, if the place she stayed isn't close by to the woods, she had help, Chris Thorns. Now, and that's the one thing nobody has brought forward with all the sleuths and everybody thinking they know the story. And no, why don't any of you know where her house is in proximity to the woods? Because if you tell me it's a block or two or three, and then the place she stays a block or two or three, then I can go with she jumped somewhere and hid out at somebody's house or whatever, then walk back to her house. So do we know where her house is in proximity to the woods, and where was she staying, and what is its proximity to the woods? Because she had to get from point A to B to C. That's it.
Yeah, good analysis.
So 4 miles is how many minutes? Because 13 miles is about 10 minutes from Hoover, from Birmingham to Hoover.
You know, one of the crazy things I heard about this story when she's supposed to have.
So 4 miles means that's probably just what? That's not that far.
No, it's not that far. Probably on foot, but driving no.
On foot, but not driving.
Yeah, on foot, but not driving. Yeah. Another crazy thing that caught my attention when she supposedly allegedly went to Target and got some snacks.
Yeah.
These folks allegedly kidnapped you and fed you these snacks before they bought.
Yeah.
I said, what the hell?
Yo, cheeses. They fed you your own. I'm dead. Wait a minute. They were cheap. They said, hey, we ain't buying no food. We're going to feed her what she brought. I'm dead. Lord, I can't. Wait a minute. Damn, they were cheap. They said, we gonna feed her own. Jeez. Oh, Lord, I can't. And look, no steak and potatoes. No steak and potatoes. I think they took pictures of me. Lord have mercy, I'm dead. Lord have mercy, I'm dead. Stop it.
Once we get through taking pictures,
I can't.
Because we are generous kidnappers.
I can't. Stop it, Satan. You ought to cut it out. Woo.
A story about abductions. They're not going to let you go. If you get away, you fought to get away. They're not going to let you go.
Mm-hmm. Now, you do have some stories where people were abducted and they were set free. You do have some stories that where women were set free.
I don't know. You might need to show me this story. Any stories?
Yeah, you had some stories. There's been some stories where the women were let out. The children, the girl were let out. Remember, one girl got kidnapped and the guy took her like right near where he picked her up at, let her back out. Because he feel like she ain't gonna tell on me. That's the fear they put in you. She ain't gonna tell. Even though she know what I look like, she ain't gonna tell.
You know what? I take it back. You're absolutely right because I did a story about the 11-year-old who was online meeting a grown man, and the dude kept bringing her back to the house. So, yes, you are correct. You are correct. He kept bringing her back there like an idiot. He kept bringing her back to the house. All right? But we'll put the nail in the coffin with me with Carlee when they looked up her phone and saw what she was looking up. When I heard she looked up taking, I said, they did it for me.
Yeah.
They did it for me.
They did their homework. We have to admit now, they did their homework.
Right, they did it for me. So I guess the guy was gonna call and say, "Hey, I got your daughter. I ain't got no money, but I do got a set of skills." I'm like, "Wow, this really is taken. Really?" And he was gonna do that, huh? But he decided to let her go.
Let me ask you this, and another thing that didn't make no sense too, Chris. He made me jump over the fence. See, it's like what the cop said. It's very elaborate. He made you jump over the fence. Who gonna make big girl jump over the fence? Nobody.
And then, funny thing about this right here, she made it back home with money still on her.
Yeah.
I said, what?
And whose money was that?
It's supposed to be hers.
Do you think that's money from the register?
I don't know where it came from. All I know is whoever kidnapped her, they didn't take it.
Why you pulled off your sock with your money in it naked? Take the picture. Oh, Lord, I'm up to it.
You're supposed to be barefoot. But you still got money on you. The kidnappers took you and didn't take nothing. They didn't even take your cheeses. They didn't take your money.
Okay, well, you stop it.
Your phone.
What about the food? What about the other food? Where was the other food that was ordered from the Mediterranean restaurant?
I don't know. I had no idea. But to put everything in a nutshell, you know, they say they don't believe she dealing with mental issues. Okay, there may be a possibility, but she dealing with something. Yes, that's right. That was mentioned. But that man can't tell us nothing because they really don't know who she is. They just know what they found from CCTV footage. They don't know her. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, you know, and I say this from my experience a lot. So like when it comes to your children. Any other day, Carlee didn't think about doing this. Why all of a sudden you thought about doing this? And another $1 million question is, why? Why did you do this?
Yeah.
Did you know you were getting money for this? Or did you do this for some kind of publicity stunt?
I don't know. I think it's the way I think it is about the guy, because look who she called to tell that she saw the toddler, his sister. Why his sister? What about her friends, her mama? She got sisters. Why his sister would she call? Because she knew she would go tell him. Shut your mouth.
And now I'm hearing everybody coming out talking about her, this, that, and that. Okay, y'all do all this. Why y'all coming out talking now?
Talking about what?
They say somebody who the niece or the boyfriend or her niece or somebody came out talking about her. You know, I just see different people talking about it. Everybody coming out talking about now. You, I guess you know her, it's close to her and all this.
I mean, what are they saying?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to hear it. I mean, I just going by the title that I've been seeing people do on YouTube. I haven't heard it actually live myself. I thought you probably know more than I would.
ASB hey.
No other close relatives and thing say anything about her?
No. Because I don't be going on all the channels hearing this and that, but this is what I told the chat earlier, because I want you to listen very careful to this now. Okay. If Carlee lied about a toddler, climbing fences, and this and that, and they didn't tie her up, and she tore a shirt, she did something to her lip, she stole from a register, she Googled stuff, she wouldn't speak to the police again, then hired a lawyer. Why am I going to sit here and listen to anything somebody else got to say, such as the boyfriend and a sister? Because I don't know her. And I'm not trying to be funny, but you have to think about the whole story. Somebody helped her. I refuse to believe that she did this by herself. Because like I said, you would have to have been in close proximity because it is hot in Alabama. Ain't nobody want to do all that damn walking. Even if I am trying to bring a roost, I could be seen walking. Stay woke. Stay woke. Somebody helped her.
And I want to say this right here, and I gotta get out of here.
Okay, that's fine.
This really is sad. You know, it's really nothing funny about this. This really is sad.
Larissa, behave.
We did one of the things when they called what's their favorite tale they used to tell us? The boy who cried.
Wolf, yeah.
They're playing that joke.
Yeah.
Until the
wolf came. Mm-hmm.
That's what she just did.
Yeah.
Anybody who's gonna be in danger, I guess around that great area, they're gonna be reluctant to help.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And that's the same part about it. So she just opened a can of worms for people, period, to be taken seriously.
Yes.
And they gotta do it.
And just victims, period. It's disrespectful. People who actually have been kidnapped.
There really is. But go ahead, love you, dear. Gotta go.
Oh, I hate you have to go. But what do you think about the party? What do you think about the birthday party they threw her?
What birthday party?
That Cinema Shogun or Shogun Cinema said something. That was a party allegedly. That they went out of town and then they came back and had a gathering. I don't know if that's true or not. Ooh, I said, how you gonna be partying and you done allegedly got kidnapped and you distraught?
Thank you. I feel kind of bad for the parents because they honestly did not know you had put shame on your folks. Because they defended you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, sweetheart. Right. Bye-bye. All right. Huh? All right, everybody. That's Mr. Chris Thorns. Please check out his YouTube channel. He also has a website for those of you who want to follow his content. And I also believe he has a Facebook page, Mr. Chris Thorns. So please check out his content. The link is in the chat. If you would like to come up on this live stream to further this conversation, I will indulge you and let you give your personal opinion pertaining to her statement via an attorney, Mr. Anthony, that she lied about a child being on the interstate and being abducted by a man and a woman. But the one thing we have not learned is where she was during the 49 hours. She is denied having any help, which I find that very hard to believe because, as I said, I live here in the South and our land is very vast here in the South. It's spread out. So you have to ask yourself, where was she? How did she get from the woods to wherever she was for the 49 hours? She slept outside, slept under a tree, a bridge, a park bench. Stay woke. And what is the proximity of her home to the woods and the interstate? Number one. Where she went and stayed, what is that proximity to her house? Because you got to make it make sense. Interstate, woods, place to hide out, and then home. You're welcome, sweetheart. How did she get from A to B to C? And you don't know where all she went. So it may not even be A, B, and C. It might be D, E, F, G, H, I. Stay woke. Google bus ticket to Nashville. Could it be that she took a ride to Nashville and hung out and then rode right back? That's something nobody has mentioned or proposed. You don't know her. I'm going to say it again. And this BS with the boyfriend, I got a feeling that everything she did was possibly for him because of who she called to get the message out. His sister. Who better to get the message out to the person I got a fucking problem with? The sister or the mother of the guy. So you have to pay attention to the details. This is how you know how to put a story together. You always listen to what has been said in the beginning of the story. That is where the truth lies. Not at the end, not at the middle, but the beginning. Who did she call to get the story out about the toddler? The boyfriend's sister. Not her friend, not her mother, but his sister. Why? Because she knew she would run and tell it. She saw a toddler. She got out the car. Oh, she was talking to the baby. Then I heard some wrestling and some noise. I didn't hear nothing else. I think somebody took her. Oh, no, not my girlfriend. She's diabolical. I don't care what Carlee was going through. I'm going through something too. I'm in need of another car. I'm back to the same place I was in. So guess what? Carlee, you want to give me that red Mercedes? I will gladly ride it till the wheels pop off. Shut up, Queen. You see, everybody's got something going on. Somebody needs some money. Somebody needs some place to live. Somebody's been evicted. Somebody needs a new job. Somebody needs 2 jobs. Everybody's got something going on. So what the hell you got going on to provoke you to come up with this stupid ass story and waste resources? And as somebody said the other day, how do you know they didn't have other missing person cases they were working on and they put theirs to the side to chase Carlee Russell? Amen. Because you don't know. And it's an utter disrespect to the living and to the dead. People go missing every day. When you get bored, I want you to check out the missing persons roster for the state of Alabama. You may not like what you see. Because I believe the person who kidnapped and killed Anaya Blanchard also killed a young lady by the name of LaCura. She is currently missing from the state of Alabama. Her nickname is Pig. She still haven't been seen. And I believe her case and Anaya's case are linked. Because she's had dealings with Mr. Yazid LaCura. And she's still missing. There are a lot of black people missing from Alabama. And they have not gotten the attention that they deserve. Rightfully so. And this is a slap in the face to any person missing, woman, child, or man. This is a slap in the face to somebody who's been kidnapped, tortured, and escaped, let go, and also been found murdered or never found. Well, you pray for her, sweetheart. I'm going to let God work that out. And I'm not trying to be mean, but she doesn't care about people. I don't think she's genuine. I really don't. She could be sorry, or she could be sorry that she's caught, because there's a difference. I thought I planned it out carefully, but obviously I did not. I thought I had all my T's crossed, I's dotted, but I did not. Damn, I didn't think about that camera on the interstate. That 360 app tracked by my phone. Damn, I forgot. But everybody knows you never use your phone in a crime. Ever. You don't ever use your phone to Google anything that's going to be related to a crime you commit. If you don't know that at 25, you definitely should not be in the committing crime business. Hit the link. The link is in the chat. The https:// Hit the link and give me your opinion. If not, I will check out of here. I did not intend for this to be a long live. This is just to chop up the information. WVTM is the source. 13 News if you need verification. The information is in the YouTube queue pertaining to the brief press conference. Very very short, under 10 minutes. As Chris says, I don't know why they needed a press conference, but that is them doing their due diligence to bring the community the updates. But I do think it's sad, quite pathetic rather, that she could not speak, yes, publicly and just tell it. But that would be humiliating, would it not? You think she wants to stand in front of a group of strangers, reporters, and say, yes, I said this, I lied, and then think they're not going to say, hey, let me ask you a question. Hey, let me ask you a question. They're going to do just like what they were doing this gentleman. They were asking him a question. They were done her the same way. She couldn't handle that. So she had to use somebody to speak on her behalf. And I do think it was cowardly for her not to even speak to law enforcement. Even if she wouldn't speak to the public, why not speak to the police? If you're going to use a whole body to say, yeah, she did this, why not just meet with the people with your attorney and just say, yes, I lied. This is where I was. I apologize. And then let the lawyer give the commentary on her behalf, the apology, the blah, 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 and be done with it. And then we move on to the next stupefied story, because you know there will be another one. She did not lie. She is being coerced. Yeah, okay. Julie D, I don't know what planet you're from, but I deal in the real world, and she's not being coerced into anything. She willingly stole money from her job. She willingly Googled things from her own device. That doesn't sound like coercion. Nobody can make you Google things on your own phone or your own tablet. And especially if I know it's going to be traced in case you get caught, why would I tell you to Google it from your own phone? That makes no sense. Think of those that she humiliated. She needs to be accountability herself. A lawyer might be handy to have, but from her, it means something at least. The FBI has no reason to coerce her. And I'm not about to listen at this nonsense. So you can, I'm not interested in conspiracy theories. There may be more going on. The only thing I can see extra going on is extra parties being involved. The FBI has no reason to pick on a 25-year-old black woman and say, make up a story that you were kidnapped and saw a toddler. Come on now. No, nobody makes you Google anything. Hey, pull your phone out and Google taken and how to take money from a register. That makes no sense. Just stop it now. Well, I see the devil has his minions up. Lord, I ask prayer for myself. I need prayer myself. And it sure ain't for making up wild stories. As I told you all before in my commentary earlier, I've dealt with a pathological liar in high school. He was a Caucasian male. You never knew what to believe. And it was sad because it was like, why do you have to lie about who you are and where you're from and that you're rich and this and that? And, you know, he always had spending money, blah, blah, blah. He picked me up. We ride around the town. We go get ice cream, something to eat, blah, blah, blah. But he always wanted me to believe that he lived in a big fancy house. And I never could understand, what is his deal? And he was so stupid with the lies. He didn't even realize that he had taken me to 2 different houses and told me that he lived in them. One, he acted like he was trying to get in the gate and it was locked. The second house, he just drove by it and said, oh yeah, that's my house up there. And I'm just looking at him like, fool, don't you know you just took me to the other house over by the lake with the gate and you rung the gate and you said the maid wouldn't let you in? And I think back to those times, you know, because I'm 52, he's probably about 51 now. I'm wondering what type of life he has now, because what I have to tell myself, if he was lying at 17 years of age, did he ever stop lying? Did he ever stop coveting? And I don't think that he possibly did, because I know that in his 20s, he had moved to Florida and he had asked me to come down there, I think, to visit and or to move. But then he finally confessed and said, well, if you did come down here to stay with me, you couldn't be in the apartment when my mother came. And I was like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, you know, I don't want her to know I have a roommate. I said, no, you don't want her to know that you have a black friend. That's what you don't want her to know. And especially a woman sleeping in the same apartment with you. But the point of the story is, here we are in our 20s, a few years older than when you were spinning those crazy lies in high school. You're still doing the same damn thing. Giving bits and pieces of a story, and then he finally admits, oh yeah, by the way, you could come visit, but when my mother would come, you'd have to go find somewhere to go. What? How stupid would I be to go give you rent money to be your roommate, but when your mother comes to town, I'm going to disappear? I shook my head and I thought to myself, dear God, this person has not changed. We are years older, and yet he's still the same. And that's why I say what I'm saying. That when a person starts lying, I don't know what kind of help is out there to make you stop. That's all I'm saying. You can go to therapy. You can talk to a psychiatrist. They can possibly medicate you. I don't know. But I just think that once you start lying, that's comfort to you. You know, kind of like eating cake, ice cream, potato chips, drinking. It's all the same. It's comfort. Comfort food. And people get comfortable with lying. That's why you'll hear people say, oh, I don't believe nothing he says. Don't believe nothing she says. They lie all the time. That's a terrible thing to say about a person. She lies all the time. He lies all the time. You can't believe anything that he says. Because what do you have with a person if they lie? You don't have anything. Yes, I said that. Thank you, Purple and Gold. Exactly. I said a liar is worse than a thief. Because at least with a thief, you know, don't leave anything valuable. Don't invite them to your house. Don't go anywhere with them. Don't go in the store with them. That's common sense. But with a liar, let's say you've never caught them in a lie. You believed everything they ever told you, even just little petty stuff. That can go on for years. And then one day you look up, you hear something about them, or they tell you something, and then you say, no, that don't sound right. That's not what you told me the other day. And then you go back and forth, and then you realize, you know what? You've been lying to me all this time, and I never caught it. Because I think what we do in life is what many of us do. We tolerate people. We tolerate people. And some people are damn good liars. As I said before, people lie about affairs, finances, having outside children, not going to work. People lie about all types of things. And I can see there's times when people are meddlesome. They want to get in your business. You may make up something just to get them to look in another direction because you don't want them in your damn business. What we would call white lies. But I'm talking about lying about basic stuff. What'd you do today? Well, I got up and I went to the market and got some groceries, and then I went to Target, and then I went to Macy's, and then I went and had lunch over here, and then I walked the dog, and then you find out they were in the bed the whole day. That's the type of line I'm talking about. The line for no reason. Please check out my earlier video on that. It's got a little fan noise in the background. I apologize for that. But that information I brought in that first video early this morning is very important because it shows the stages of lying and how they start. And it starts as a child. They believe you start lying at the age of 3 and 4. You become better at the age of 6. Trauma will lead you to lie often, compulsively, pathologically. Some people lie for no damn reason. Pathological lying, there's a motive. Perhaps Carlee's a pathological liar. She has a motive for the lies. I'm this, I'm that. I got it going on. I live well. I got great parents. My family's well off. It's no telling what lies she's told over the years. Yeah, girl, I'm well off. We went to Paris, France, and da-da-da-da-da. And that heifer ain't went nowhere. That guy I went to school with, same thing. Spring break comes along. He comes back to school, brings me this Fabergé egg. It's jade with some designs on it, on a little bitty, wooden pedestal. Real small egg, Fabergé egg. And what did he tell me? Oh, Angie, I got you this Fabergé egg from Paris. And my mind told me, this boy ain't no more went to Paris than I went to Paris. And I never said, hey, you a liar. I just let him think that I thought that he went to Paris. But he had to have known I did not believe him. Because I've already caught him in so many lies already. And that's scary to me that a 17-year-old, 16, 17-year-old boy could just lie on a whim. Now, know that he was a feminine boy who later came out of the closet once he, got out of high school. He admitted he was a homosexual male. And I'm just going to be truthful. That's something I've noticed with a lot of gay men. And I'm going to say that. It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm just going to say that. They lie a lot. And that's something I've noticed. Just lie all the time. Make up stuff. Storytellers, as they would call. And that's not to say that all gay men lie, but I have noticed that trait in a lot of homosexual men over the years, that you couldn't believe half the things that come out of their mouth. They make up stuff, talk about who they've been with, and just tall tales, and you're sitting here listening like, I know that's not the truth. And that's the one thing I don't do. I don't argue with the person when I know that they're lying. I have no reason to keep going back and forth with you. So I told a person today, well, you say whatever you want to say. I'm done talking to you. And I told myself about a conversation I had with somebody earlier. Once I see that I got to keep going round and round with you, and you're not willing to listen to reason, and you're steady making up stuff and basically lying, I'm done talking to you. Because there's nowhere to take the conversation once I know I'm dealing with a liar. And I can say that about the person who I got my car from. They lie all the fucking time. Always got a story, always insinuating stuff, always putting the blame on somebody else, always whining about their problems and their finances. And it don't got nothing to do with me. And it ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. And that's the thing people need to understand about a liar. They need an ear. They can't spin the lie without a warm body. So long as you keep listening, they're going to keep lying. So Queen did him one better. He walked off talking on the phone. I put that car in drive, and I drove the hell off the lot. Basically saying, I'm going to turn it over and let Jesus worry about it. I'm no longer engaging with you. And that's what you have to do to a liar. Turn it over. For those coming into the chat, Carlee Russell has admitted to the hoax of lying about a child on the interstate and also about being kidnapped. She has hired an attorney, and he has spoken on her behalf, and a statement was read to the general public today at a press conference at 4 p.m. That's the said information. She asks for your forgiveness and her prayers while she gets herself together. The attorney did not admit to where she was, and he also stated that she did not have no help, that this act was solely done alone by Carlee Russell. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. You're entitled to believe that she is actually sorry, remorseful. I will put that up on my community page after this live stream. Do you believe Carlee Russell is sorry? Prayer. Should we be praying for her? Well, many would say that's the Christian thing to do. You believe in God, you should pray for her. Whether you like her or not, and you don't like the act. You don't hate the person, you dislike the act. But to me, as Chris said, and I've said it earlier in my commentary, Carlee is dangerous, whether you want to believe that or not. A 25-year-old woman making up such a heinous situation when we have people missing every day, I just wouldn't trust her. I would not trust her. I would not trust her. I'm sorry. It would be years before I would trust somebody like her. And I mean what I'm saying to you. She's that person you see in passing. You throw your hand up, hey, how you doing? Great day, good morning. And that's the extent. You don't hang with her. You don't do anything with her. You don't leave your belongings along with her. You don't invite her to your house. You don't go to her house. You don't get in her car. She don't get in your car because you don't know her. And people like Carlee will get you wrapped up in drama. I won't doubt that she was a messy little fucker. Excuse my language. I won't doubt that somebody has a story about how she kept up mess. She kept up chaos with people. Carried a bone. You better stay woke now. Because I said, you do not wake up at 25 making up elaborate tales about a missing toddler or a wandering toddler and being kidnapped and what the people look like. He had orange hair, a bald head. He made me crawl over the fence and he did this and she did this to my hair and she fed me cheeses and just go on and on. It takes a disturbed mind to keep pushing that damn lie. She just kept going on and on and on. So I'm wondering if there is trauma that pushed her to this. Poor self-esteem, never feeling loved or liked, boyfriend problems. And as I said in my last live, are we talking about a dirty bugger? Are we talking about a boyfriend who cheated on her, didn't treat her well? She didn't feel loved by him. I'll show him. I'll go missing. That'll fix his ass. You're going to treat me like a dog. I'll go missing. Bet he'll miss me when I'm not around. Bet he'll miss me when I ain't answering that phone. Bet he'll wonder, oh my God, what happened to her? She was on the interstate chasing a toddler. Now she's missing. The next thing you know, you get a post from him. You think he's a Jehovah's Witness up here talking about Jesus Christ and all that. How I know he even believes in Jesus? I don't know because I don't know him. I'm going to tell you the truth. I ain't trusting too many people affiliated with this story. I ain't trying to be funny, but Carlee, you can't believe. Why the hell am I going to believe these other people? And anybody that would aid their child or could hold a lie out for a week, what kind of message is that they're sending to your child? You're her parent? When you first heard the lie, you should have said, we going to the police and tell the truth and get this over with. We're not going to let the situation be exacerbated. So this is why I want to know, when did she tell her parents the truth? First night, next morning, next day? When did she tell them the truth? Whose idea was it to hire an attorney? I'm sure many of us are curious. Her and her mother had a fist fight some months ago behind her not paying the car insurance. How do you know that, Sheba? Yeah. Well, sat there and co-signed her foolishness and mayhem. Yes, they did co-sign. That's what I'm saying. That's why I would like to know, when did she tell her parents the truth? Because if she told them early on, you're talking about at least 2 weeks ago. The 13th? They said the 13th she went missing, right? So it's just coming up the 25th, 24th. So a little over a week. This is a tragic story because, as a gentleman said the other day, the true victims are the people who have actually been kidnapped, tortured, let go, escaped, and or murdered, found, discarded, and are still missing. Those are the true victims. The people who are currently missing, and we don't know where they are, and their parents and family members cry every night, wondering if they're ever going to see their loved one again, be reunited with them. Those who were found, discarded, been missing for some time, remains found. Could be 1 year, 2 years, 20 years. That's what Carlee doesn't understand. That she's done a disservice, one, to herself, to her parents, the community, and to those who are actual victims. And she will never know their pain because she's never been kidnapped. And I believe you can claim your demise. Because in the scripture, in Psalms, it says, speak it and it shall be so. So the roots that she claimed to law officials on the 13th may be her demise somewhere down the road. That when she least expected, somebody will pick her up and force her into a car or tractor trailer, hold her hostage, torture her, bind her, and God forbid, kill her. And while she's suffering, she can think back to a lonely night in July of 2023 when she spun a web to the Hoover Police Department via a 911 call of a child walking down the interstate and calling somebody else to say she spoke with the child, and then followed him, went in the woods, and a man came out of the trees. Woman was also there. She can think back. I've claimed this for myself. And that would be a terrible way to leave here. Fighting for your life from abductors, and remembering that you exacted a hoax. And now it is real. What is the old saying? Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Will we find out that Carlee Russell had a helper? How did she get out of the woods? Where did she go for the 2 days? And how did she get from that place to her house? You better pay attention, because there is more to this story. She had help. Now you got to figure out who the helper is, because that's the part of the story the attorney did not reveal. Where she was, and denies that she had help. I don't believe it. Bring me a receipt that her house is in walking distance of the woods, and where she stayed is walking distance to the woods. And her house is walking distance to wherever she hid out. Exactly. You have to be very careful of the messenger. It's an old saying. Beware of the messenger. Because all this taking posts down, putting posts up, saying this, saying that, taking it back. Oh, don't bully her. One would have to wonder, what's your motivation, Mr. Boyfriend, Miss Sister? Will the parents ever speak out on this apology, admission of guilt? When are we going to hear from all of the parties publicly? No social media posts, no Facebook, no TikTok, no IG, but to the news. Stop the BS and call a spade a spade. Carlee doesn't want to show her face to the public because it would be too humiliating. I think we all know this. The parents probably don't want to show their face either because they've gathered people. People donated money. That would be too humiliating as well. District Attorney, will you file charges against Carlee Russell for dialing 911 and fixing this hoax? I do believe she deserves time in jail or prison. Sherry Papini she's locked up. She and her husband have to pay back the state of California, the victims fund. The state of California gave she and her husband money, $30,000 or so, and rightfully so, they have to pay it back. Any other restitution for searches, so on and so forth, you got to pay it back. Some are estimating high numbers, 6 figures, for the searches for this young lady. She owes that money back. And as I said tonight, they could make up any damn dollar amount. CIA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, Hoover Police Department, and other said agencies. Exactly, they're going to make an example out of her. Why not? Don't give her a pass. Because I believe passes is what led us to this jacked up story. A young lady who has been afforded the opportunity to lie and manipulate, to have her way, to throw tantrums. 25-year-old woman living in a house with grown people, working at a spa, driving a Mercedes. Need I say more? Why did she not have her own apartment? Number one. The fact that she was going to obtain a master's degree in nursing, it dawned on me today listening to this young man's commentary. He made a very valid point. What is a woman doing with a degree in psychology, mastering in the nursing program, living at home, and working at a spa? I want you to think about that. Why is a 25, now 26-year-old woman living in her parents' house with a degree in psychology, living at home? There are young people, 20, 21, and have roommates in college, live in apartments, live on their own. This woman has a whole degree and living with her parents. She could easily go get a studio until she could afford a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom. You're in a master's program for nursing, allegedly made posts that you didn't think maybe you were cut out for the program, possibly what led you to this ruse as well. Why are you living at home, Carlee Russell? Do you pay bills at your parents' house? Cable, Wi-Fi? Any monies toward the rent? Do you buy groceries at your home? Do they require you to pay groceries, cable bill, light bill, water bill, gas bill? What do her parents require of her to live at their house? Stay woke now. Or is she getting a free ride to be a misfit, troublemaker? Now imagine what life is going to be like now. 2 40-plus-year-old people, 50-something, stuck with a 30-year-old woman who can't get a fucking job or get a degree at a university because nobody wants her at their institution. Nobody wants to hire her. Nobody wants to date her. Checkmate. But, oh, Angela, you know better than that. There will always be somebody that'll want the nookie. If Casey Anthony can get some penis, Carlee Russell surely can. Casey Anthony killed a whole baby. And if she can get ding ding, you can best believe this heifer will get some ding ding as well. And the guys will only sleep with her to tell the story. Oh yeah, I hit that, Carlee Russell. That crazy bat, she gave it up. Because that's what men do. One more thing before I check out of here. The text messages that she posted to social media before exacting this crime are even more disturbing. Thanking God for making a way. And one would say, but you stole money. And you're thanking God? So what are you speaking of, Carlee? Please tell us that's not what you were thanking God, that you stuck your hand in a register and stole that money. Number 2, I want a family now. Crying emoji. Let me say that again. I want a family now. Hello, Miss Smith. What do you mean by that, Carlee? And what did you mean at that time? You have just Googled a kidnap movie, how to steal money from a register, other searches they won't reveal. That's a whole nother subject. Call 911 about a fake child, thanking the Lord after you stole money from a register, and you have the nerve to say, I want a family. With whom? And why? And how in the world are you going to start a family with somebody when you are doing all this mischievous business? Stealing from your job, flunking out of school, living at home with your mom and daddy, probably had boyfriend problems, and then you exact this hoax. Who in hell is going to make a baby with you? So what were you speaking of? I want a family now. This is why you know there's something wrong with her. And I outlined that in my earlier video this morning of the possible things that's wrong with her. She possibly has some type of split personality, sociopath, something wrong with her. Or she's a psychopath. Because to do all this stuff and plan it out, and then go to social media before getting on an interstate and say, I want a family, this girl is gone. This is why I tell you have to pay attention to the information. Carlee is off her rocker. So this apology may mean absolutely nothing. It may be the water doused to put the fire out. Keep you all at bay. Stop talking about me and move on to something else. She's disturbed. I want to thank you for your time. Please check out my extensive library on true crime and breaking news. Please go to my community board and take the polls. I'd like to hear your opinion on this subject and other subject matters. I will be back with more stimulating content and commentary, and I definitely will put up some questions on my community page pertaining to this new breaking information of her admitting to exacting this hoax and apologizing and asking for forgiveness and your prayers. Sheba says she's sorry she got caught. I kind of think that myself. She didn't expect that eye in the sky above the interstate. She didn't think police would be that thorough. But this is what happens when you don't plan a crime out thoroughly. You forget some things, such as Google searches, such as apps that trace your steps. You leave a blueprint every day you wake up. Every day you step outside your home. You get in your car. There's an eye in the sky. There's an eyewitness. Somebody saw you. They saw what you had on. They saw who you talked to. They heard your conversation. You touched a buggy. You touched a Cheez-It box. Stay woke. Thank you, sweetheart. It is what it is. Next conversation, I'd like to do a little digging into the Long Island serial killer. How long has he been at work? Has he killed anyone in the past year while the FBI was watching him? The wife is filed for divorce. What did the wife know? Knows her and the children. How many victims are we talking about? See, this is scary to me because one of his victims left an audio via a 911 call. And this should be a lesson for Carlee Russell. She likes to make up jokes and play mind games with law enforcement. They should lock her in a cell and play that girl's 911 call. And they should let her hear multiple 911 calls of people who are in distress, being hurt or harmed or chased by a perpetrator, being beat up inside of a house, car, and then later found dead. That's something to sleep on. And maybe the next time when Carlee's feeling a little frisky, she won't be too apt to dial 911 and make up such heinous foolishness. If the boyfriend has nothing to do with this hoax, he needs to run like hell. Any friends she has, run like hell. Because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who you're dealing with. Until she can get therapy and get her mind right, she's no use and no good to anyone, not even herself. She's tainted. And for her sake, she better hope she gets some help quick, because it'll be sad to find out she's 35 years old, 40 years old, and still has the same ways. Have mercy on anybody who crosses her path. And hopefully the parents are not involved in this ruse as well. And if anybody else helped her to conspire this crime thereafter, you better hope like hell she don't rat your ass out. Because this is still an open investigation. So that should tell you something. Why are they so adamant to keep it open knowing there was no toddler? That's my commentary. Thank you for watching The Vault. Exhale.